Due to life circumstances propagated by different reasons, we find that most people work in jobs that they never really enjoy. This may be as a result of various reasons. They could either be working in a wrong profession, lacking the requisite education requirements, working in the right profession but losing interest along the way. The question then comes, why would one work in a field they don't like? Hi, my name is Patience Oshera, and welcome to the Global Insights. Doing something you're passionate about gives you that extra zeal to work even harder. You wake up each morning with a goal to succeed. But however, in many circumstances, there is an underlying factor which leads to one ending up involved in a work line that they do not enjoy. That is family pressure. There is a tendency by some parents to push their children into pursuing certain careers which they do not have passion for. Traditionally, parents had a tendency to be ahead of their children in terms of being knowledgeable about things. So it follows that even in education, schooled parents tend to think they know what is better for their children. This is the foundation of uncalled for intrusion by parents. Parents impose their opinions and choices on their children without considering what talent and interests the child has. For some parents, career can be a family thing. It is normal for parents to expect their children to opt for a career majority of family members are in. For example, if the family runs a business, parents will always expect their children to handle the family business in future. There are more important aspects in a child's life to look at when equipping them for the future, such as their strengths, desires, and ambitions. These are better indicators, and assisting them in those areas prepares them better to tackle whatever they may face in the workplace, which is constantly changing. The desire for our parents' approval is universal. We want to know that we've made them proud and that the direction our lives are taking honors their sacrificial efforts to parent as well. No matter how old we get, we never lose that craving. But in every parent-child relationship, there are inevitable clashes where our choices depart from what our parents would have chosen for us. Maybe you're making a career change that they disapprove of or are considering a job somewhere far away. Perhaps you're buying your first home and they are terrified for your financial stability, or maybe your lifestyle choices in their eyes depart from the values they believe they raised you to live by. Whatever the case, negotiating these difficult conversations isn't easy. There are parents who navigate them with grace and intentionality. Some have a harder time loosening their grip. A part of becoming a healthy, independent adult is letting go of your need for approval and forming your own convictions and decision-making capabilities. Stepping into your unique identity may require stepping out of the borrowed philosophies and value structures with which you were raised, and that's okay. This doesn't mean you need to abandon those values. It means you need to sift through and test them to see which fit the future you want for yourself. So how do you navigate this messy moment of claiming your independence? The ideal approach is to anticipate and address the challenge before it happens. It takes courage, but if your relationship with your parents is strong enough, it will save you worth strife later. Set aside time to let them know your intentions. Mom, Dad, can we talk about how we want things to go even when the inevitable moment comes where I make choices you don't like? How will we work through that? I know you want me to be a responsible adult, and sometimes that's going to mean making mistakes that I have to learn from. In those moments, what I need is your support, not necessarily your approval. Distinguishing support from approval can be eye-opening for parents since, up until this point, they may have viewed them as one and the same. In your conversation, set clear boundaries about when you will solicit their advice, how you need them to resist jumping in when you don't ask them to, and the kind of support you'll find helpful when they disagree. Explain that genuine support means giving you their blessings and practical help if needed, despite disagreeing with your choice. For even the best parents, establishing that precedent takes effort. Laying this groundwork upfront takes foresight, but your parents will appreciate you are initiating the conversation and see it as a sign of your maturity and readiness to be more independent. What if you haven't had a chance to prepare your parents for the tough conversation, or you have and they disapprove of your choices anyway? Regardless of how their disapproval manifests, passive aggressive cold shoulders, overly harsh criticism, condescending premonitions like, "It's your life, do whatever you want, but don't say I didn't warn you," it will hurt. Your natural instincts may be to regress back to your adolescent days and become defiant and petulant. Of course, this only arms them with more evidence to bolster their disapproval. As difficult as it may be, try and remain dispassionate about their critic, using questions to figure out the rationale behind their objections. For example, your parents may cloak their concerns in doomsday predictions. If you do this, something awful will happen. Sometimes the risks are real, sometimes exaggerated. Other times, their concerns might be legitimate and open your eyes to unhealthy patterns they've observed in you. That doesn't necessarily mean you should just change your mind. Just acknowledge their concerns as valid and offer ideas about how you plan to mitigate the risks they've raised. It may make it easier for them to support you. Sometimes, parents struggle to express the real issues underneath their resistance to our choices. Perhaps they're grieving the path they wish you had taken. Maybe they fear for your safety as you venture off to someplace new, or it could be that your sifting and testing their values and traditions feels like abandonment to them. Though it may not be your intention, your independent choices signal that you need them less. Ask gentle questions to probe and surface what might be lurking behind their protestations, and be kind here. These are difficult issues for parents to face up to. They are looking for reassurances, some of which aren't yours to give. You can't guarantee you'll be safe in a new city, but you can promise to take precautions. You can't guarantee that you'll always need your parents in ways that satisfy their desire to feel useful, but you can commit to keeping them as a central part of your life. You can't commit to living by traditions and principles you now question, but you can commit to respecting their choices. With some distance, more often than not, you will see that their reaction has underlying causes that aren't entirely about you. The relationship between parents and children is a lifelong study of what is most important in human connections. Through this relationship, we learn so much about how we relate to friends, colleagues, and life partners. More than any other formative experience, this relationship shapes the best and sometimes worst of who we become as adults. It's messy, complicated, and sacred, and it deserves all the effort it takes to keep it strong, especially in the moment where that's hard. As a parent, being supportive and open-minded is paramount for your child's positive and fulfilling journey. Highlight the significance of providing unwavering support, even if their interests diverge from traditional expectations. An open-minded approach fosters an environment of security and freedom, allowing your child to explore various avenues without fear of judgment. It also shows your child that you respect their individuality and trust their decisions. What's more, consider the potential negative impact of steering your child towards a career they don't enjoy. Such pressure can lead to dissatisfaction, lack of motivation, and hindered personal development. It can also damage the relationship between you and your child, creating resentment and frustration. On the contrary, supporting their chosen path contributes to the development of a more confident and self-assured individual, ready to embrace the challenges and opportunities that align with their passions. It also enhances the bond between you and your child, thus creating a sense of mutual understanding and appreciation. Encouraging your child's creative exploration is like unlocking a treasure chest of possibilities. Granting them the freedom to explore their interests without constraints is essential for fostering a creative and fulfilling career path. By emphasizing this freedom, you open doors to a world of possibilities. You can inspire your child by sharing stories of remarkable individuals who found their career paths through unconventional journeys. Share your thoughts on the comment section. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe.